should know. I have never really liked you at all. I cannot hide it anymore. I've been thinking about the future, trying to forget about the past. So many ways that I could change for the better,
This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free. Hey y'all, I'm so glad y'all are here with me today. I have not had a good day. It has been bad. I was not able to sleep last night because my stomach was cramping, not to share too much, but it's kind of funny because I guess I have been putting off an aura this morning that I was really ill. So the children with their schoolwork, after we went over everything and they had worksheets to do, they brought it to me and like everything was perfect. All the answers were right. Lord of mercy, it has not been a good day. And then I went on Strategic's Patreon and I saw some things and that sent me down a whole nother rabbit hole of some things that I'm real upset about. And we're going to touch on it, but I don't know what I can even share with y'all. But I'll tell y'all how to find the information if you're interested when we get to that topic. I'm so glad y'all are here with me today. Dandy, Hannah, Heathen, Anders, Jada, Kalisa, Crystal, good to see all of y'all. Gia M, I saw Chantel said thank you for the membership. Thank you for saying thank you. Southern Cats, Snarky Pants, good to see you. Edith, good to see you. Gia M, the days of closing curtains is over. We need eyes open, America. I agree. Crime Time Watcher, I like your name. Good to see you. Melissa, good to see you. Thank y'all for being here. Kimmy C123, good to see you. Laura, good to see you. I hope I say hey to you because I look at the profile pictures and yours looks a lot like Edith's over here on this side. So I hope I don't skip you sometimes. UT, good to see you. It jumped, but I saw that One Sunny Days in here. Oh, there you are. One Sunny Day and M Greenlaw, good to see you. Melissa, I think I said hey to you. Good to see you. The last 24, good to see you. Ashley, good to see you. Jesse, good to see you. Jerry, good to see you. Chantel, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Tom, good to see you. Cindy from sunny South Florida, good to see you. And thank you for being here. And These Nuts was in here, but I think they were in here this morning when I had the different thumbnail. So we will start with that. His name is River. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful name. Well, hello, River. Nice to meet you and learn your name. He's 9 today. Oh my God, happy birthday. I gotta get, hold on. It's his birthday? Hold on, we gotta get hold on. Hold on just a minute. Here we go. Let me pull it up. April, good to see you. Sky, good to see you. Cindy, Kelly, good to see you. Thank y'all for being here. This is for River. Happy birthday.
She got birthday candles, blow them out. She got birthday candles, blow them out. Everybody at the party start to gather round.
Hey, Naomi.
Blow them out. It's your birthday, let's get crazy. I'll take the day off, they're gonna fire me. I came to pin the tail on the donkey. Chicken chicken with the scale, jobs off party. She got birthday candles, blow them out. She got birthday candles, blow them out. Everybody at the party start to gather round. Puffin', puffin', blow them out.
Cara sent me that one time, and I think it's awesome. I love it. Happy birthday, River, and I hope you have a good day. Okay, so we are going to start with Jake and Rebecca Haro once I figure out what I'm doing here. Once I get it together. Okay. So evidently he talked to somebody from behind bars, which I don't think his attorney would want him to do. And we're going to talk about what he said. So for that, we're going to jump over here to this article. I have looked for actual video footage of it. I've got too much stuff pulled up. She said he's cracking up. Thank you, everyone. Aw. Hey, the artsy alien and Ruby and everybody's saying happy birthday. Lisa Lynn, Red. Aw, hello. Everybody's saying happy birthday. That's so sweet. Yeah, you normally don't see sloths partying like that. That's very accurate. Anders said, I love sloth. I wish I could have one as a pet. That would be cool. I've looked everywhere for video footage of this, and I haven't found any yet. So we're going to talk about the article. And it reads, Emmanuel Haro's father declares wife is innocent, said God is with us in jailhouse interview. Lord of mercy. Okay, it starts, despite instructions from his attorney, the father of missing 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro set for a jailhouse interview Wednesday where he declared his wife innocent and said God was on their side, the Orange County Register reported. The 45-minute interview was held over a video hookup with a reporter from the Southern California News Group, the OC Register's parent company, while Jake Haro, 32, was inside the Larry D. Smith Correctional Facility in Banning. Both Jake and his wife, 41-year-old Rebecca Haro, were formally charged by the Riverside County District Attorney's Office with homicide and filing a false police report in connection with baby Emmanuel's disappearance. On August 14th, Rebecca told police that her infant son had been kidnapped after she was knocked unconscious by a stranger in the parking lot of Yucaipa Big Five sporting goods store. And she's still sticking by that story. Even though, I mean, we know that it's not true, and there's no way that she doesn't know, that she knows she didn't get knocked out in a parking lot, and that's how baby Emmanuel died. She knows that she made that story up to protect what really happened, and she needs to come clean. But, Rebecca Haro is not the brightest crown in the box, in my opinion. All right, it continues. Prosecutors now reportedly believe the boy, who's presumed deceased, could have been killed as early as August 5th, 9 days before the alleged kidnapping. In Wednesday's interview with the SCNG reporter, Jake admitted his attorney advised him to avoid the press, saying that while he wanted to talk about Emmanuel's disappearance, he couldn't. And I bet that lawyer is going to be real upset that he did this. It continues, he did, however, call Riverside County DA Mike Hestron's assertion that the 7-month-old was a victim of reported abuse untrue and spoke at length about his prior felony conviction for willful child cruelty, stemming from a 2018 arrest in Hemet while he was married to another woman. The 32-year-old claims he accidentally dropped his daughter, Carolina, on a sink divider while giving her a bath. But when the 10-week-old girl's mother, Vanessa Avina, rushed her to the hospital later that night, doctors found far more serious injuries, including a skull fracture, fractured ribs, a brain hemorrhage, and evidence of other injuries that were healing. And I was going to grab the document and go over that and prove how what he's saying is complete and utter bullshit, but I heard that he said he was guilty. Yeah, God don't even, yeah, you need to call on somebody you know, Jake. Sorry, I didn't mean to squirrel off like that, but I was going to grab the document, but I mean, I don't know how you're explaining how you expect anybody to believe that you dropped her on a sink divider and all of those things happened, and then there's other things that are in different stages of healing. Like it all doesn't make sense. But to me, I think Jake has been able to basically fabricate whatever damn story he wanted, and every girl he's been with or every woman he's been with has either believed him or didn't, and if they didn't, he struck them somehow, because he seems like that type to me, but that's just me allegedly speculating. Sorry. Y'all, I'm telling you, today is not a good day. Hold on. Okay. He is guilty. Yeah, we can still call him Emmanuel. Of course we can. Hey, Nanny Goat. Nanny Goat said, yep, that would be reason for the lawyer to say, I'm out of here. Good luck, jerk. Exactly. Kalisa said, in my opinion, Jake and Rebecca are communicating with each other by these media interviews. The only way they can let the other one know they aren't snitching on each other. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. That's a good point. They could be. Lisa Lynn said, why wasn't he convicted then? It's a good question. Evidently, the judge was from out of town and felt like he needed another chance to hurt another baby. Am I allegedly speculating? Continuing with the article, Jake, according to the Register, said he wanted to take the case to trial but couldn't afford it, and that his 2023 guilty plea was a financial decision because the judge told him no one would believe his side of the story. Well, duh. I mean, the facts don't line up with his side of the story. Yeah, nobody's going to believe that. But the judge knew that. The judge knew that in that case. The judge knew nobody would believe that side of the story and how much bullshit it was, and still gave him a slap on the wrist. Wow. That's insane. Quote, somehow they magically convinced me to take this damn plea deal, unquote. Really? He said during the interview. That was the best plea deal that anyone has ever been given in the history of plea deals. What the hell do you mean? Snarky Pants. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for the super chat. And yeah, happy birthday to your mom, 80. Wow. That is amazing. Happy birthday, Snarky Pants mom. That's awesome. I hope she enjoys her day. Wow, that is amazing. What a milestone. Yeah, everybody's saying happy birthday. So many birthdays today. Happy birthday. That's awesome. Kate's saying happy birthday to River too. Good to see you, Kate. I think Jake is trying to throw the investigators off. Probably. That's so sweet. Yeah, happy birthday. That's an amazing milestone. I hope I can make it to 80. Lord, I'll be lucky if I make it to next week. Always Late said, Snarky Pants, happy birthday to your mama. Hug her tight. I lost my sweet mama 2 weeks ago. I'm so sorry, Always Late. I'm so sorry. That's really sad. I lost my dad a couple of years back. Okay, he says, somehow they magically convinced me to take this damn plea deal. Like, that was a plea deal that, like, you get if you pay millions of dollars to the judge in some kind of backdoor deal. So, I mean, I don't know. He says, he continues, quote, I was sick of court. The judge knows I didn't do it. They just railroaded me. I was the fall guy. Stop it. Here's photos. There's their mugshots. Baby Emmanuel, him in court, her in court. That's their arrest. People outside their home. That's where he was taking them on a wild goose chase. Lord of mercy. It continues. Hestron on Wednesday chastised the judge in the 2023 case, calling Jake's suspended 4-year sentence 180 days in the sheriff's work release program and an order to attend child abuse treatment an outrageous error in judgment. And that's what it was. It was an outrageous error in judgment. Meanwhile, he's up here saying, somehow they magically convinced me to take this damn plea deal. I was sick of court. The judge knows I didn't do it. They just railroaded me. I was the fall guy. Stop it. Handed a damn fairy tale plea and you're complaining about it? No, take 15 seats. Quote, I don't have a problem saying that, unquote. Hestron added, quote, if the judge had done his job, which he should have done, Emmanuel would be alive today, unquote. Now, I've said several times, he had to be there to create Emmanuel, but if one of the judges would have done their job when he got in trouble for the probation violations, then Emmanuel would be here today because he would have been out of jail to create Emmanuel, and then he would have been in jail after Emmanuel was born. Hopefully, alive. Gina said, I'd sent an email to Justin with the photo and name of the judge who gave 180 days. Really? That's interesting. Kalisa said, I've read that the DA undercharged Jake. He could have been charged with attempted homicide with special circumstances and instead played it safe by undercharging in order to get an easy conviction. I think there is special circumstances here and that he should be charged with. Always Late said, thank you. My mama lived a long life of 90 years. She eventually lost her battle with Alzheimer's. God took her home before she physically suffered. I'm glad that she didn't physically suffer, but I'm sorry you lost her. That's really hard. Hey, Coco. What? I'm seeing everybody saying Ruby. Ruby said, my parents just celebrated their 68th anniversary. That is amazing. How sweet. Well, congratulations to them. Curious Christine, good to see you. Okay. During the jailhouse interview, Jake also told the reporter that his wife, who was being held at the Robert Presley Detention Center in Riverdale, is innocent. Quote, the media is killing her, unquote. He said, quote, she is a beautiful woman and she loves her children, unquote. But she lied to everybody. Stop. The 41-year-old mother has continued to maintain her innocence in the baby's alleged homicide. Jake is reportedly hoping that enough money can be raised, usually around 10% of the bail, so she can be released from custody until the trial. Quote, God is with us. The allegations are horrendous, so of course people are going to be riled up, unquote, he told the reporter during the interview. Outside of Wednesday's interview, reports emerged that Jake reportedly confessed to the homicide of Emmanuel to an undercover informant posting as a fellow inmate, and that he put the child's body in the trash can at the couple's Cabazon residence. While Jake was spotted with investigators searching for Emmanuel's remains on Sunday in the Merino Valley Badlands, the child remains missing. However, at a Wednesday morning press conference, DA Hestron indicated authorities have a pretty strong idea of where the child's remains are located. Jake and Rebecca are each being held on a $1 million bail, according to the Register. They are scheduled to appear in court again next week. So basically, just like Rebecca, he's a damn dumbass, and they're both spewing a bunch of nonsense, a bunch of lies. Let me pull up. I wanted to talk to y'all about what Brian Eaton said about the confession. And I'm with him on this. So let's see what he had to say. Remember, we went over the alleged confession yesterday, and the DA said that he has not confessed. There could be a number of reasons for that, but I think he did.
And just clear something up. Hey guys, so I'm in Minneapolis covering the awful church shooting, but I wanted to get on here for a second and just clear something up. So a lot of you have been messaging or putting in the comments about my story involving what Jake Haro said to informants within the jail as part of what's known as a Perkins operation, which I explained in my latest video. And the district attorney today at the press conference said there was no confession.
I really think that they mean in an interrogation room. Kalisa said DA is defensive because he knows public is going to come after someone and he wants everyone to focus on the judge, not himself. They all need to admit that they were wrong. I agree. Curious Christine, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that so very much. Curious Christine said, thank you so much for your daily research, Jess. Thank you guys for being here with me as we talk about it. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. That was very sweet of you. Greenlaw said, how do they have proof of abuse? Well, that's a good question, and that's a good point. If they don't have the body, unless Jake admitted something in an interview, how do they know that he was abused over a long period of time and that's how he died? My first thought process when you ask that question, and thank you for asking that question, is maybe on his birth certificate, he wasn't cross-eyed or he didn't show damages of being cross-eyed, because I'm thinking if he's not admitting that the baby was abused over a long period of time and she's not either, and they don't have the body, they've got to be getting it from secondhand accounts or some of the photos. And if they're getting it from the photos or whatever, it would tell me that they pulled the doctor records and he was born as a happy, healthy baby. And then they're talking about he's cross-eyed and etc. Right. That's what I'm talking about. Like past abuse of Emmanuel. I mean, the only thing I can think of is that he was born happy and healthy, and they've looked at photos of him and see how he progressively declined over time and made the assumption that he was abused over a long period of time. But I don't know that they could run with that. Like, they could get sued technically if they were wrong. So they must have some kind of concrete evidence. It's a good question. It could be the photos. Yeah. It could be. Hey, D's nuts. Tactical Bike, good to see you. The Astro, good to see you. Am I Granny's watching? No. We both have the same name, but I am not Granny's watching. I don't have a Philly accent. Very much Southern. You I could try. Yous guys. Hey, I'm walking here. I don't think it'd work out very well. The Astro from space. Good to see you. Kate said he was happy and healthy when he was born. Then saw who his parents were. Bless his heart. Yeah, I'm thinking it's got to be the photos. Greenlaw said, I thought the piece of shit parents threw away clothing and pictures. They did. But there's photos of him all over the internet, so maybe that's where they're getting it from. Or secondhand accounts or something. Peaches McClure said, I have no proof and I've not seen it myself, but allegedly there's a video out there of Rebecca slapping a child while in a high chair. I've seen several comments saying this on Facebook pages. Dang, we're going to have to see if we can find that. Lord, I don't even have my notebook. She said, please don't ever do that again. I won't. Oh, hold on, let me get my notebook and my pen. Oh no, I don't have my pink pen. Okay, so Facebook. He slapped baby. All right, we'll look for it. Soups. Thank you. I know. Oh, are you talking about the girl that gave birth? Yeah. Okay, let me play this video so we can hear what he has to say about the video of the alleged confession thing.
So I just want you guys to know that I am standing by my reporting. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch my latest YouTube video. I talked to my sources again. And if you guys know, I mean, I know I have a lot of new followers on YouTube, but if you guys, you guys who know me know how seriously I take this job and how seriously I take reporting factual information. And if I ever did make a mistake, I would immediately own up to it. But I am standing by my reporting. And I realized that the district attorney said that there was no confession from Jake Haro, baby Emmanuel's dad. But I don't know what his definition legally of a confession is.
See, exactly. Like, I really think that he was referencing, no, he did not come in an interrogation room and confess to me that he did the crime. I really think that he's not including the Perkins thing as a confession. And he also said, no, there was no fire next door, is what he said. And again, I mean, they're going to say things in a way that protects the integrity of the investigation. But like, to say there was no fire, like he's making it seem like he's saying there's no fire at all. And somebody asked, was there a fire next door? He said, no, there was no fire next door. Technically, he is correct. There was no fire next door. It was across the street. And so he's basically playing semantics. And I think that's what the whole he didn't confess thing boils down to. No, he didn't confess to me in an interrogation room, but he did say that to an inmate on the Perkins thing. I think that's just my speculation.
May be different, but I'm standing by everything that I reported in my video from yesterday about the Perkins operation, about the informant, about that happening in the jail, and about what Jake Haro said. And I have
really
quadruple confirmed with my sources. So yeah, I just wanted to address that. And I just wanted to tell, for those of my new followers, like, I'm not just some guy who's just going to like put out information without being very, very careful about it. And if I ever do make a mistake, and yes, of course, I've made mistakes before, I will immediately tell everyone I made a mistake. But I do everything I can to make sure that what I'm reporting is accurate and is.
See, me too. That's why I get frustrated with other channels. I try really hard to be accurate and not clickbait. And I'm not going to put something, up if I don't, or report on it if I don't have what I believe to be true facts. And actually, this case, I've been on TikTok and Facebook and X more than I normally ever would, because, I don't mess around with those places. But that's where you had to go for a couple of these cases. But if you get something wrong, just apologize and try to do better. I don't know why people have a problem with that. A lot of people on YouTube will like not apologize, and I don't get it. Like, just apologize and try to do better. Nobody's perfect.
Is double and triple and quadruple checked, and I do not go with sources that I don't trust. And so I'm standing by my reporting. So just wanted you guys to know that. All right, see you guys.
That's for later. Okay. So yeah, basically he's standing by his reporting. And he believes it to be true. And I do as well. I see that Gia was talking about, you got blocked, unfortunately, from his channel, and he reported on something. I hate that happened. Email me and let me know about it if you want to. Kalisa said, DA reminds me of my ex. He could convince you the sky was green and then mock me later because obviously the sky's blue. I've got an ex like that as well. It sucks. And I think that's who he thinks he is as an individual. He can convince everybody, just like Jen Soto. He could convince everybody, and she could convince everybody that they didn't know anything, or, like you said, the sky is green when it's obviously blue, because everybody has believed their bullshit stories and lies up to this point. Hey, Angela, good morning. We're talking about baby Emmanuel right here and the jailhouse interview. This talks about corporal punishment in Florida, so I thought we might watch the beginning of it. I don't usually watch when they talk about when they pull the people up. So we're going to see what she's got on this real quick. And then I had some information about on the Tierra, because I know that Tom likes him and I like him too. Yeah, please hit the thumbs up. I do appreciate it. If Rebecca is in jail, why isn't Jen Soto? Good question. Probably because they can prove that Rebecca lied, but by staging the abduction of the baby when she obviously, you know, did not see somebody who said hola and punched her in the face because the baby was never there. I think they're having issues proving, because like I've said before, the DA has to be able to prove that Jen Soto knew definitively, without a doubt, that when she sent Madeline upstairs to bed with Stephan, that she knew 100% what was about to go down. And if they can't prove that, like it's written in a text message or something to that effect, to where it can't provide reasonable doubt to a jury, then they're not going to do anything about it. But in that case, unfortunately, they got their man. So I don't think they're going to do anything else about it, which really sucks. I don't feel like Madeline got justice. Jen Soto, twisted, so desperate for love, she sacrificed her daughter. Amen. Yep, that's exactly what that situation was, unfortunately.
Welcome to the program. It's nice to have you here. I'm Ashley Banfield. Here is the show. Those parents in California, you know, the ones who said, help us find our baby, and then suddenly we were arrested for maybe killing the baby.
Yeah.
Lots of developments with them today. First of all, after she spoke in jail about still wanting to see the baby, looking for the baby, still asking us all to help find the baby, they're getting arraigned for murder and a few other charges like lying to the police. And now the public defender's office doesn't know what to do.
And I did want to bring up, I do have these documents real quick. If you want them without the watermark, you can get them on my Patreon. Thank you, Hio, for sending these over. Now, we did see the first page of this, but there's more. So I wanted to go over this with you real quick since she was talking about the charges. They're both on $1 million bond. It is the people of the state of California versus Jake Mitchell Haro and Rebecca Renee Haro. It is a felony complaint. Count 1, the undersigned, under penalty of perjury upon information and belief, declares that the above named defendant, Jake Mitchell Haro and Rebecca Renee Haro, committed a violation of Penal Code Section 187, Subdivision A felony, and that on or about August 5th, 2025, through and including August 14th, 2025, in the county of Riverside, state of California, the defendant or defendants did willfully and unlawfully commit the homicide of baby doe EH, which is Emmanuel Haro, a human being. We've read that part. Now on to count 2. The above named defendants, Jake and Rebecca, committed violation of Penal Code Section 148, subsection 5, subdivision A misdemeanor, and that on or about August 14th of 2025, in the county of Riverside, state of California, the defendants did willfully and unlawfully report to police officer, deputy sheriff, and member of California Highway Patrol that a felony and misdemeanor had been committed, knowing that report to be false. 1109 notice, we talked about that. It says, pursuant to Section 1109 of the Evidence Code, evidence of the defendant's commission of other acts of domestic violence may be admissible in trial in a criminal action in which the defendant or defendants is or are accused of an offense involving domestic violence. The people hereby give notice of the people's intent to admit evidence of prior acts of domestic violence pursuant to Evidence Code Section 1109. These incidents include the prior incidents described by the police reports, chronological report, and or tapes already provided, and other alleged incidents of abuse which will be provided as they are obtained by the prosecution. Marsy's Law. Information contained in the reports being distributed as discovery in this case may contain confidential information protected by Marsy's Law and the amendments of the California Constitution, Article 1, Section 28. Any victim or victims in any above referenced charge or charges is entitled to be free from intimidation, harassment, and abuse. It may be unlawful for defendant or defendants, defense counsel, and other persons acting on behalf of the defendants to use any information contained in the reports to locate or harass any victim or the victim's family, or to disclose any information that is otherwise privileged and confidential by law. discovery request pursuant to Penal Code Section 1054, subsection 5, subdivision B. The people are hereby informally requesting that defense counsel provide discovery to the people as required by Penal Code Section 1054, subsection 3. I declare under penalty of perjury upon information and belief under the law of the state of California that the foregoing is true and correct. It was filed the day before yesterday by Michael A. Hestron. So that's interesting. Marcy's law is basically stating that any victims or anything like that, their names are redacted to protect them. So basically, Carolina Rose's name would be redacted, Emmanuel's name would be redacted, and things like that to protect them. And I can't wait, because I really feel like they're going to go out there and they're going to talk to the cousin who has custody of the baby that had fetal, I always mess that up, fetal alcohol syndrome, and Carolina Rose, later renamed Promise. I think they're going to go out there and talk to her, and I think she's going to lay it bare, and I think she's going to testify in court on behalf of those babies and everything that he did. And I can't wait to see it. I think that she is really mad and upset about what happened, and glad that she was able to get those babies out of that situation. And I think if she'd have known about Emmanuel, she would have done the same for him. I can't wait to hear what she has to say. Starkey Pet said, that's not really true. Jen Soto lied way more than Rebecca, in my opinion. I was wrong. No, you're good. I get it. But can we prove it, right? So we know Jen Soto lied about a lot of things, but can we prove it in a court of law? That's the thing. Like I was referencing, can we prove that she definitively knew what Stephan was going to do when she sent Madeline upstairs to sleep with Stephan, as opposed to Rebecca? Rebecca knew that baby Emmanuel was not in that car and did not get kidnapped. And we can prove that because baby Emmanuel was never in the car to begin with. And he had been gone for some time. They had gotten rid of pictures, photos, bedding. There was blood on the floor that could or could not be Emmanuel's. We're going to have to wait for DNA testing to come back. But we can prove definitively that she lied, because we can prove that Emmanuel was never in that vehicle and never got kidnapped. Whereas with Jen Soto, you have to prove the intent or the knowledge that she knew that what was going to happen. Kalisa said, Mom just seems to process things differently. They say she was in special ed. She had been hit in the head by Jake a number of times. Maybe her brain got scrambled. Possibly, but I don't know to what extent. Hey, Lori Ann, good to see you.
Because they can't have the same lawyer, and they can't both be represented by a public defender. So which one is going to get the boot?
Oh, I didn't know that. So they can't have the same lawyer and they can't both be represented by a public defender. Really? So what are they going to do? Jake's attorney's not representing him anymore, and I really think it's because he thought he was going to make money and get publicity off the case, and then when he got the wrong type of publicity, he rolled out. I didn't know that you couldn't have two different public defenders to represent them. The judge is going to have to appoint somebody to represent the other one. Like, he's going to have to. Lisa, real quick, Lynn said she should have been arrested for obstruction by lying about taking her to school, and when the time of death was confirmed. That's just one of her lies. So she didn't say she took her to school. Okay. Stephan took her to school, and we can prove Stephan lied because Stephan had Madeline in the car, but Stephan knew that she was deceased, right? If Jen Soto did not get out of bed that morning, and Jen Soto was like, we'd have to prove that she knew Madeline was deceased, and she knew that Stephan didn't take her to school that day, or that she was deceased when she went in the car. Now, the one lie that you can prove is that she said she saw Madeline that morning, because she did not see Madeline that morning. That's a lie you can prove. Other than that, like, I think you'd have a hard time. You know what I mean? Are they separating the cases? I haven't heard yet, Lorianne. Maybe we'll find out.
And is one about to flip on the other.
She
A
did.
couple of things we want to discuss. That's coming up in
So
just a
that's
moment.
another one.
Here's another one for you. I know you're all just as frustrated as I am about the kids' behavior these days in school, right? It is just appalling.
Hey, say,
They're giving the bird and the F-bomb to teachers left, right, and center, punching, kicking, hitting, if not students, other teachers. Teachers' hands are shackled, can't do anything about it. Florida's about to do something about it. They're going to let the teachers hit back. What? What could go wrong? You
What?
may be all for it. You may be against it. But what does it say when there's no rule book on how hard you can hit? Where does it end? Are they allowed to use weapons?
So I didn't even know this. Evidently, Florida is going to do corporal punishment. I'm going to do a poll on this because considering what we're going to talk about later, and maybe I'll wait until then, I want you guys to remember this, okay? That Florida's bringing back corporal punishment to try to get some order in the school. When we talk about what happened in, can't remember if it's Minnesota or Missouri. I apologize. I always get those two confused. But what just happened at the church there, I'm going to do a poll and I want you to vote on should corporal punishment be brought back and do we think it would help with anything? I mean, to be fair, though, if you had metal detectors in the school, I don't know. That's a good question. Minnesota, thank you. Teresa said California had corporal punishment when I was a kid. My parents didn't sign the papers. They wanted to do it themselves. Mr. Speculating's talked about that. He's told the kids that he got called to the office a couple of times and they spanked him right there in the school.
Switch, the paddle, the ruler. Are they allowed to lock you in a closet?
Obviously not. Stop it. Like, I don't think they could use a weapon either. Parents would have to sign a paper as well. Like who was it? Somebody had Teresa just said, like, you would have to, no. Yeah, a lot of people did back in the day. And see, Dandy said, no one will be putting their hands on my child. My children are feral. They cannot sit down for 8 hours. They're not in school. But for those of you that do have children in public school, I would love to know what you think. And I mean, that's part of the reason that we took them out because we started with the boy first because he got in trouble a lot. He didn't listen and he would not do his schoolwork. And so when I started homeschooling him, he could get punished, not by hitting, but there was other ways to punish him to make him sit down and do his schoolwork. If you don't do your schoolwork, you don't get to watch TV. You don't get to do this. You're going to sit right there until you do it. Those were things that I could do that the school was not allowed to do. And it worked out really good because now he sits down and does the schoolwork. But at the same time, we don't have 8 hours of schoolwork a day either. And there's a lot of outside learning, gardening, animals, foraging, nature, things like that. So I don't know. Kalisa said they automatically spank the kids here in class. It's assumed okay unless you actually put up a fuss. This was 3 weeks ago in Mississippi. Really? Kimmy said, hell no. Kimmy said, where's one of my clips? Kimmy said,
Not today.
not today. Oh, look, a squirrel said, I got called into the nurse's office and mama was there with the spoon, so no principal for me. Football team could take licks to get out of detention so they could still play. Sounds about right. Sounds about right. L'Oreal said, not a lot of parenting going on these days. Follow through is very important. Kids are unruly for a reason. Absolutely. I agree. And I think we're all guilty. I know I've been guilty of it. Of saying, if you don't do X, Y, and Z, you're not going to be able to play, and then getting frustrated and saying, just go play. So I don't know. Anders said, I don't think spanking is a good idea, but teachers should be allowed to intervene if pupils are violent. It's interesting debate. We'll talk about it when we talk about the school pewer.
there are so many questions here.
I hate saying
And
people.
whether or not you support the idea of teachers being given the freedom to use corporal punishment, what about the teachers?
Wait a minute. However, autistic kids still get locked in closets at school for punishment. Are you kidding me right now? Let me find out. I'll go show my ass. Even though I don't have a child in public school, you can't be doing that to an autistic child. What the hell? They better not be. They better not be. You can't be doing that to an autistic child or any child, locking people in a closet. Amy, good to see you. My daughters are 27 and 30. I gave signed permission to their private school permission to spank. My 15 and 10-year-old son's school never asked, but I told them to call me to come to school and I'll do it, right? Like, yeah, you ain't gonna be locking no children in no damn closet now. That's that's a bridge too far.
What if they're worried about some kind of, well, what if it goes sideways and something really goes wrong? Are they then liable? Okay, all of that as well. And then this one, I literally lost my lunch today. Like I pushed it aside because
we're going to talk about
in
this
Oklahoma,
too.
A couple of parents showed up at the hospital with their daughter and their grandchild. Sweet, right? Except that the daughter's only 11. And the grandchild apparently shares the same DNA with stepdad. So yeah, charges are filed. And these two parents are facing some serious trouble.
Stephan Sterns and Jen Soto 2.0.
He is facing, of course, sexual abuse of your stepdaughter. She is facing, how the hell did you let that happen? C, why didn't you get her any health care while 11-year-old is pregnant all the way to term and gives birth in your home?
All these questions, we're going to talk about all that today. I'm going to go ahead and, well, I'll let her continue talking because the first one's Emmanuel, and that's why I clicked on the video. Kalisa said, major culture shock coming from California to Mississippi. I thought it was a joke, and I couldn't believe teachers were allowed to hit children in class in 2025. They would be arrested and reported to CPS. I couldn't imagine. I bet that was a big culture shock coming from California to Mississippi and seeing that going on. Right, Julianne? A lot of people are going to feel like that, you know. Grandma lives across the street too. Really, Jamie? Lord have mercy. Yeah, the baby survived. The baby was healthy, full-term baby. Yes. Thank God the baby survived. But that child, and I've talked about this before, and we'll talk about it more, but like with Naziah Harris and Madeline Soto, I've said several times, why did they have to kill them? Excuse me. If Madeline was with child, and we know Naziah Harris was with child, why did they have to kill him? Why not let them have the baby and then, you know, take the baby, put it up for adoption or whatever needs to happen, and get the child the therapy they deserve and that they need so they can go on and live productive lives? Why did you have to take their life? So I am grateful that this child is alive. And I mean, at least they should be looking at homicide charges, but like, I guess not homicide charges. They should not. I'm glad they did not hurt the child, like as in murder, but it should be a charge that is as extensive as homicide charges for what he did to her. But I'm thankful that this child is alive and not deceased like Madeline and Naziah, if that makes sense. Yep, I saw that too.
They have 5 other kids too. There's so much that's wrong with this, but maybe the worst of it might be what Grandma said. There's a lot of grandmas here, I know. But the one in the orange, her mother said, "Oh yeah, no, it's not my son-in-law. It's another kid in the neighborhood, a 12-year-old."
I heard that.
You can't make this stuff up. So I'm giving you the facts. It's all coming to you in just a moment. But let's start here. Some big important blanks are starting to get filled in tonight in the case of a missing California baby named Emmanuel Haro. By this point, Emmanuel is presumed dead. And sheriff's deputies believe that his parents were the ones that killed him. But the biggest blank is the whereabouts of the body of that little boy. That's as big a mystery as ever tonight.
So I haven't seen a lot on it. I've tried to pull what I could. It's really heartbreaking that all the kids got separated. I hate when that happens because while they need to be removed, you need to keep them together. so they have each other to lean on, because they are the only ones that know what happened in that house. You've got to keep them together so they can support each other. I hate when that happens, like with the Turpin children and stuff too. Wow. Good to see y'all. Thank y'all for coming in.
Emmanuel's parents, Jake and Rebecca Haro, are now both formally charged with murder, but they've also now been hit with a couple of other things, like lying to the police. And I'm going to tell you a few other charges,
Right.
pretty specific stuff in just a minute. But the lying charge, that stemmed from their initial report 12 days ago that Rebecca had been attacked in the parking lot of a Big Five store, and that her attacker had kidnapped baby Emmanuel, just made off with him. Where's my baby? The couple was in court today for what was supposed to be an arraignment. You can see Rebecca's bruises are really going away now. But that arraignment was pushed back to next week, in part so that
Wow.
both suspects can figure out the lawyer situation. A Riverside County public defender broke it down for reporters like this.
Both.
Belinda, good to see you. Belinda said, breaks my heart. I'm from Oklahoma, about 30 miles from Muskogee. Oh, that's sad. It's really sad what that child went through. Like, I mean, I can't even begin to even think about. It's just, it's horrendous. Child being scared to death. I can't.
Defendants, who is Jake and Rebecca, made their initial appearance here in Riverside Department 61. Ordinarily, it would be for an arraignment. However, we have limited information. All we have is a felony complaint at this point. We don't have police reports, anything of that nature. So the Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent people who cannot afford private counsel. Initially, we received word that one or both would have private counsel. It appears that neither have private counsel. We cannot represent both. So for today, we simply continued the arraignment. The arraignment is reset for next Thursday, September 4th. At that point, hopefully we'll have a police report, run a conflict check, and we'll decide to keep one, and then we'll conflict on the other.
I'm wondering if they, like in the Austin Drummond case, the judge like appointed somebody specifically to represent him, which really irritated me. It felt like he was doing some kind of backdoor dealings, but you guys explained to me that he was a death penalty qualified lawyer that he got assigned. But onto this case, I'm wondering if the judge can assign somebody that would not normally be in the public defender's office to represent them, like the other one, a lawyer that normally would be paid, or if the state can pay a lawyer to represent the other one. They're going to have to do something like that. Okay, Belinda, get your phone on the charger, love, if you can. Peaches McClure said that poor 2-year-old probably saw or heard everything that happened to her baby brother. Yeah, and I'm wondering if if the 2-year-old suffered abuse as well, because again, a week ago, I think it was, they said that the Haros were involved in another case of child abuse in the Moreno Valley, and I'm wondering if it's the 2-year-old has a bidet in his cell. What is a bidet? I'm scared to ask, Anders. What is a bidet?
Conflict on the other. That means move the other parent off the public defender roles, because it would be a conflict of interest to represent both parents. And he's right about the limited information piece. The papers filed today by prosecutors are short on specifics, but two pretty big things stand out nonetheless. Number one, the state contends that baby Emmanuel was killed in Riverside County. You may not think that's such a big deal. And the fact, that his remains still haven't been found, that's still a big deal. They may never be found. But it is in no way a barrier to charging someone with murder and getting a conviction. As regular viewers of this show are aware, no body does not mean no murder or no conviction. But if you don't have at least a working theory of where the murder, aka the crime, happened, you don't know where to file the charges, where to hold the suspects, where to indict the suspects, and where to try the suspects. So the fact that they're saying Riverside County means they believe that baby Emmanuel was killed in Riverside County. Now, the second really big thing that came out of that skin.
Y'all. Oh, a boudet. A boudet. Okay. Okay, a boudet. He probably does have a boudet. I like the way he then said it. I got it. Those ass cleaning toilets. You had to break it down for me. Boudet. Okay, I got you now. He could, considering what he had the first time, he might have a boudet in there. It wouldn't surprise me. Honestly, it really wouldn't.
little complaint is that Emmanuel's death, presumed death, could have happened as early as August the 5th.
Mm-hmm.
That's a full 9 days before Ms. Rebecca there made her kidnapping report to the police. What leads the DA to suspect that? Don't know. Not yet, anyway. They got something for sure. They didn't just come up with that out of a hat. But we do know, and this part isn't a shock, that the state intends to bring up Jake Haro's 2023 conviction for willful child cruelty against an infant even younger than Emmanuel.
And they need to. That Carolina Rose, later renamed Promise, that case needs to be brought up because it shows a pattern of abuse.
You probably know this, but Jake's on probation for that outrage as we speak. The beating of his own 10-week-old baby girl who was left severely disabled for life. Remember when Rebecca said in her jailhouse interview, he would never hurt a child? Well,
Oh my God.
Sister.
Yeah, I'm with Ashley. And I'm so sorry that you ever had to deal with anything like that. It's good to see you. Actually went through some things like that. My dad, who's deceased, was an alcoholic. And I was the youngest one, so I don't remember a lot, but a lot of my siblings do, and they didn't get along with him, and I never saw that side of him. So I always loved my dad very much. And some of them kind of resent me because I don't remember it, I guess. So I'm kind of on the opposite side of that, but I'm very sorry you went through anything like that. I think I backed it up. I wanted to show y'all, I wanted to reiterate something.
Just look at the court docs. Just look at his prison sentence. Just look at the fact that he's a convicted felon on parole for that. I want to bring in Justin Shepard. He's a digital journalist who goes by the handle Just in the Nick of Crime. Okay, Justin.
So when she was talking about Rebecca wanting to be out there searching for her child, saying that he would never hurt a baby, she's just, yeah, ain't nobody got time for all that bullshit. But, you know, as I say over here and have for a couple of days now, Rebecca Haro is a dumbass.
This woman here is a dumbass.
There ain't no other way to put that. She's a damn dumbass. Mercedes, good to see you. You love which women's channel? Ashley Banfield. She's a good creator. We can see what Justin has to say about it for a minute.
And so much to cover. First of all, the couple in court. Describe the demeanor. What was the vibe in there, especially between them?
Yep.
Yeah, well, as you know, like you said earlier, they pushed back the court hearing. So it was very, very brief today. We only had about 5 minutes. And, you know, for the most part, they were both very quiet. You couldn't really get too much of a read on them. But, I mean, it was pretty quiet and pretty brief.
Knuckin' Futz.
5 minutes. Holy cow. I get it, though, right? If they're going to push the arraignment, what else do you need to be there for? So you and I and pretty much everyone in the world saw Jake in his orangey red jumpsuit being trotted out next to Highway 60. I guess it was on Sunday. And the idea is, you know, we didn't have audio on that, but the presumption is he's out there helping authorities to find the body. Maybe he's giving them the directions. Maybe he's pointing the finger at Rebecca and saying, here's where she threw the body. Maybe it's just the authorities taking him out there for a photo stop so that they can show it to Rebecca and say, look what Jake's doing. You better talk fast and get to the trough first.
I think that could be a possibility. I'm telling you, they have TVs in jail and the inmates watch the news and stuff. So I think Rebecca has seen that. But if Rebecca knows that Emmanuel's not out there, as we all assume at this point, then she knew that he was taking them on a wild goose chase. So that could be why she's continuing to stick to her story. she knows what really happened. And if she's heard about all the things going on and she hasn't heard what actually happened being said, then she's probably going to continue to stick to her story. Now, when she comes out and they're talking about that she said something, we're going to know right around that time, whatever the rumor is, that's probably what happened, because that's when she's going to start singing, I think. Hey, Super Ro. Yeah, y'all aren't late. You got here right when you were meant to be here.
In any case, do we have any idea what Rebecca has been doing while Jake's been out in the desert?
So I think you bring up a few interesting points with that, because, yeah, we saw him out there and it could be a number of things. But what it appears to me is it appears that he's trying to lead them as to where he might have last saw the body, where they might have disposed of it. But what's interesting about that is when you look at Rebecca, she is still doubling, tripling down on the story that she wants her baby back. She's not giving up hope, and that she's still saying that he's kidnapped. So what's interesting about this is that it appears, at least from outsiders' perspective, that they're not on the same page. And the biggest reason I say that is because if you go back to that 2023 conviction and the willful child cruelty from 2018, he threw his then wife, Vanessa, under the bus, trying to blame her. And it almost seems like history might be repeating itself.
I think so too, but I was glad that Kalisa pointed out earlier, like she said here, yeah, I think they are communicating via the media the only way they can. And I agree. I think that when she saw that, she knew that's not where Emmanuel was. So again, she's not going to say anything. She's going to stick to her story. She's going to stand by her man. But she needs to wake the hell up.
Wow. I wonder if Rebecca's aware of that, you know, given the fact that she's in a jail jumpsuit, giving interviews saying, everybody keep helping me find my baby. It just sort of defies logic. And, you know, does a tiger change his stripes? Okay. Then the other big thing today is that they have written in the court documents, you know, you get the on or about language. Well, these documents for these two defendants suggest that the killing of baby Emmanuel could have been as early as August 5th. Any idea why that date? What is it specifically about that date, 9 days earlier than when Rebecca called police saying, a stranger took my baby?
So I was actually surprised to see the August 5th to August 14th date, because from what I've heard, and I guess this is unconfirmed, is that nobody has seen that baby in a month at least, which means you're pushing it back into sometime in July. My best guess is that they probably had to come up with some kind of story. And again, this is my best conclusion to this, that they had to come up with some story that maybe somebody was asking about the baby. And since Emmanuel was not able to be produced because he's gone, they had to come up with this elaborate story. And that's what they decided to go with kidnapping.
Right, because nobody knows how long the baby's been gone. We don't know the last time he was seen by somebody. So why all of a sudden now did they come out? Unfortunately, they probably could have hid it for longer. Was somebody asking to see the baby? Was something going on? What happened? I wonder. Kalisa said maybe they're smarter than the cops, which is pretty sad. I have to question it. Yeah, thank you guys for asking everybody to hit the thumbs up. I do appreciate it. You think so, Mercedes? I think it's unnecessary commodity. I take the shower. Y'all are silly. Kalisa said, and I think law enforcement took him out there to get Rebecca to crack to make her think he snitched. That if she knows that that's not where the baby is, she's going to continue to stand by her man.
That's all I can think of that would make sense.
Did anybody hear what was going on, or at least was anybody within earshot and able to report out what Jake was saying roadside when he was out there with the Riverside County Sheriff's Department deputies?
Yep.
No, I haven't heard any reports as to what exactly they were doing, which is kind of odd because typically if they have a suspect out there and they're trying to help them do something, usually at a presser, they'll tell you, hey, we have one of the suspects out there and that's what they're doing. But they've been pretty tight-lipped about a lot of this investigation.
That's the other question. Unusually tight-lipped, or is it sort of par for the course? I mean, that was such a thin set of documents today. Granted, the arraignment's going to be later, but it just felt like there was just so little to go on.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's because they don't have the whole story yet or if they're being tight-lipped about it. It's hard to determine because we know that basically he took them out on a wild goose chase. So is it that they're being tight-lipped about the investigation or they legitimately don't know what happened? Don't know when he's telling the truth and when he's lying. Angela said something spooked them to come up with the story that night at the football game. That's a good theory. Maybe the son's mother, the stepson's mother, would have, said, "Where's the baby?" And that could have been it. That's a good possibility. Where's the baby? The stepmother or the mother of the stepson that was at the football game might have wondered where the baby was when she came to pick them up. And Rebecca and Jake are there with the 2-year-old. But I mean, he could have just left Rebecca at home and he could have said, "Oh, Rebecca is sick," but Rebecca, the baby's sick and she's staying with the baby. But if he's not allowed to be like around the stepson unsupervised, then Rebecca would have to be there. It's a good theory. Maybe we should go down that road and see what we can figure out. They got them when there were all those toilet paper hoarders. Oh, you're talking about the bidets? Yeah. Somebody was probably asking questions. Or did they mess up and arrest them too soon? Good points. Hey, Cara, good to see you. People at the funeral were asking where the baby was also. I've heard that. Yep. Just like Ruby said.
I kind of agree with you on that. I think that it's maybe a little bit less, especially given the fact that they've now taken them both into custody. The fact that they have enough digital evidence, digital forensic evidence. They took floorboards out of the house. So there's enough there that they believe that the child is deceased. And they're really not giving a whole lot of information as to what's going on, why they're searching. We didn't hear anything about searches today. So it's been, I would say, to a degree, unusually tight-lipped.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Shepard, just in the nick of time. Great reporting. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so Lori said, what funeral? So the funeral of Jake, no. The grandmother's grandson overdosed, unfortunately, and died I think it was about a week before they reported the baby missing. Or a couple of weeks. On August 3rd or 5th was the funeral. And it could have been I think one of Jake's brothers died and somebody overdosed or something. I'm not real clear on that because I still haven't found the funeral video footage. But evidently at that funeral, what's being said was that she had 2 black eyes and that the baby wasn't there and people were asking about him. So that could very well play a part in it, I think. I did search Emmanuel Haro's mother slapped child in a high chair, and I haven't found much on it. I did see something. Yeah, this I wanted to share with y'all. It says baby Emmanuel died from prolonged child abuse. That's what Riverside County District Attorney Mike Hestron told reporters during a press conference on Wednesday. Baby Emmanuel's mother, Rebecca Haro, reported the child kidnapped. They say it was all a lie after noticing inconsistencies in the mother's story. Searching the Haro's home and seizing Jake Haro's car, they charged both parents with homicide. The DA told reporters they believe they know where the 7-month-old remains are, but they didn't say where. And this reads, the filing in this case reflects our belief that baby Emmanuel was abused, a victim of child abuse over time, and that eventually, because of that abuse, he succumbed to those injuries. It was revealed the extensive investigation spans 2 counties and has involved hundreds of hours of manpower. Riverside County District Attorney, quote, we have a strong idea of where the remains of baby Emmanuel are, unquote, but he did not elaborate on the exact location or name the county. Again, I think it's the landfill. I really do. I really believe that this Perkins thing happened, and that's the answer to it. I wonder if the CPS visit from a few weeks before has anything to do with it. Where did you hear they had a CPS visit? Interesting. Yeah, thank you. Jake's brother died in the house in 2021. So it was the, okay. I'll see if I can find it. But it was the grandson of the grandmother. Okay, it was for Rebecca's nephew, Charlie Buhausen. I remember it was Charlie Buhausen. Or his name was Charlie. Thank you for that. I couldn't recall off the top of my head. So it was Rebecca's nephew. Thank you. This says, as for Jake's past child cruelty conviction, the DA admonished the judge who gave Haro a suspended sentence. He described baby Carolina's condition. She is permanently bedridden. She has permanent damage, cerebral palsy that is a result of long-term child abuse. She suffered fresh rib fractures, healing rib fractures, a partial bone fracture of skull, brain hemorrhage, and a broken leg. The abuse was discovered in 2018, and they're expected back in court on September 4th. So I saw that. I wanted to share with y'all. And that's all I'm finding right now on Facebook. It's just so sad. Yeah. There's a lot to this case, and we're getting updates on it almost daily. It's really sad. These nuts said, I think Strategic and Jake doesn't have his lawyer anymore due to his charges. Homicide case requires a special lawyer. That's a good point. That's a good point. It could be. Yeah, he might not do the homicide charges. There is a lot of death that surrounds both sides of the family, isn't there? There is a lot going on there. Okay. All right. So now we'll talk about the 11-year-old who gave birth inside her home all alone. Oh, before we move on from this subject, I did want to share with y'all about on the Twitter. Somebody put out a video here. I don't know what it's about, but we're gonna see.
Ahmed Belloso, the face of the internet here, owner and executive branch of On the Tira. We are here at the Robert Presley Hall of Justice Center here in Riverside, California, where we did see the perpetrators, Jake and Rebecca Haro, and they were present in court. Jake was wearing his red jumpsuit, and Rebecca was wearing the chambray colored, I guess, women's jumpsuit. I don't know.
This is from The Adventures of Lone Wolf. I think he's just interviewing him, but evidently it's been put out and almost pretty much confirmed that On the Tira has been asked to step away from the case, and that yesterday when we were watching the press conference and heard the sheriff going off, he was talking to On the Tira. Yep, it's the homie. It's the homie.
They were set $1 million bail each, and they did have additional bail amounts for other minor misdemeanor cases throughout Inland Empire. We don't know what those cases are. It's murder, right?
Yeah.
The same? Murder, and they added charges of falsifying information. So we do know. Yeah, so we do know that they did, in fact, falsify information. And we have a new lead for you fine folks out there on the Tira. Ahmed Belloso, we have been given new information. Eastvale has entered the chat. They were reported seen at the Costco in Eastvale, and little Emmanuel was in the video. So we do know that Emmanuel was alive on the 10th. So the third has now left the chat, other than the image that we have from her.
If that's true, and he was alive on August 10th, I mean, I would think that would mess up the document, because the document I just pulled up said August 5th through the 14th. That's interesting. Miss Scorpio, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really appreciate that. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I had never heard of this guy, until this case as well, and I do have respect for him. Jamie said they told him to go rest. My Lord.
Clucking her coins and her whatever. She was clucking everything. She looks
strung out right now, bro.
Wow, she looked Malias, if you ask me. Coming from one ex-Dolphin, trust me when I tell you, bro, I know a trick when I see one on the tira, and they both are tricked out the game right now. Now, they both didn't look at each other. Jake sat there and answered the judge's question. Did he?
You looked at her one time?
She didn't even want to look at him, and I'm sorry to say that there was an outburst in the courtroom, and it was I said hola as they were walking out back into their holding tank, and immediately I was reprimanded and hauled off to the back, and I was they put a grill into your boy.
I like him. I do. I didn't know of him before this case either, but I like him. Peaches pointed out that he is fighting cancer and on chemo while what he is doing is admirable. He does indeed need to rest and take care of himself. I agree. Cara said, here's the weird thing. They went out of their way to go to East Val Costco when they have a Costco really close to their house. I think that investigators need to look somewhere between the two Costcos. I didn't even think about that. That's a good point. Hey, Elizabeth. Good to see you. Yeah, he's funny. I didn't even think about that, Cara. That's interesting. I wonder if they will look between the two Costcos.
Put a grilling to your boy, and I told them that I wholeheartedly apologize. I told them that I was out looking for this little boy all night, and that I'm like on an hour and a half sleep, and I'm on dextromethazine, which is a very, very powerful steroid for cancer patients, which I do have. And so I wholeheartedly and unequivocally apologize, and I believe they felt that my apology was sincere enough to tell me that I am allowed in the courtroom on the next visit, but any further outbursts from me and they will press charges against me. And so thank you to the Riverside County Sheriff's Department for giving your boy a free get out of jail pass. And trust me when I tell you, I will never ever 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 have a lapse in judgment of that magnitude again. So I apologize to you. I apologize to the county. I apologize to the judge, to the sheriff's department, and I apologize to the community at large because that was very, very unprofessional of me. And so moving forward, I've learned from this mistake, and I am not above acknowledging my faults, homie, on the tira. And so thank you so much, everybody. That's the latest here from Riverside, California.
Hey guys, thanks so much for checking out my channel.
That was the lone wolf, and I did want to go over here and show you guys Mark. He got an interview. Mark from our chat that we were promoting the day he was out there, and he said he was out there. He did record the public defender talking, but it's hard to hear, and he interviewed this person right here. I wanted to share Mark's video with you guys real quick.
With your video?
Yeah. Okay, now it's recording. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Davina. I live here in Riverside, California.
Hold on, sorry.
I came here, and at first they were only allowing so many people in there. I was not allowed at first, and then they said 3 more people, and the cop that was out there, the deputy, he said you, and you, and I was one of the picks. So I was in there. When I walked in, Rebecca was sitting to the right, and Jake was sitting to the left, and it was really fast. It was like 10 minutes, literally. He pretty much just read them their hearing and said that you want to waive your rights. Do you agree? Do you agree? They both said yes. There is a new public defender. I want to say it's a public defender. It might be an actual attorney, but I want to say it's a public defender. He is representing. Right there, coming out right there.
That's a new attorney right there?
Yes.
Okay, there it is,
He's
guys.
New attorney. I don't know if it's public defender.
Public defender or not.
But that is
the new one.
He's representing Rebecca and Jake both. And
Now we know that he's from the public defender's office and he can only represent one of them. I did drop Mark's link in chat. If you haven't subscribed, go give him a subscribe. He kept us up to date the day of the hearing, which was pretty awesome.
They both ended up saying they agreed to waive time to September 4th is their new court date. And then that was pretty much it.
That was pretty much it.
On the theater, he was in there.
Yeah.
He's a reporter, and he, I think they arrested him or detained him because he said, "Hola." Yeah.
They detained on the theater?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And what was your name again? And you, I was asking you about the black guy.
Yeah.
If they were having, if Rebecca
Oh
had
yeah, she had the black eyes still.
both of them?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it. Thank you.
Of course.
Okay. Well, there we go. So next we're going to talk about the 11-year-old who was impregnated by her freaking stepdad. This is disgusting. Stephan Sterns 2.0. I'm going to leave that video up and we're going to jump back over here and let them break down the case real quick. Hold on. Some of that's other things. Did I not save it? No, here it is. Okay.
Young 11-year-old girl, and you yourself might need to brace.
So here's a photo of the 11-year-old girl who was impregnated by her stepdad. I don't know. Gave birth inside of a house where the water's been shut off for 3 years by herself with her mom. Y'all, I'm here to tell you, I've had 3 children. They were all C-section babies because my hips, I guess they didn't spread far enough apart or something to that effect. Anyway, I couldn't have done it without epidurals. And to think about an 11-year-old little child being forced to do it at home. I can't. It's disgusting. Baby was born healthy, though, thank God.
Yourself for the details in this one, because these 2 people you see here are facing charges after an 11-year-old gave birth inside their home. DNA results allegedly just proved that the girl's stepfather is the baby's father. How this case could be prosecuted moving forward, as so many people try to understand how this could happen. We're on.
Hold on. I wanted to point out this photo. It says little sister. I'm the little sister. So were they trying to present the child as being the 11-year-old's little sister? And Rhonda, isn't it? That looks like her mom from the mugshot, not the 11-year-old. Yeah. Yeah, right, Jamie? But I'm wondering, since somebody had said in chat that the baby might be with the 11-year-old, and I'm assuming she is because everything happened when they went to the hospital. After she gave birth, that's when they kind of found out something weird was going on. So I don't know if they came back later and arrested the parents or not. But considering there's photos of her with the little baby after the hospital, I'm assuming she still has her. But it just really bothered me seeing that photo right there that says little sister, knowing damn well that's not that child's little sister. These parents are sick. I can't. I backed it up a little bit.
Understand how this could happen. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart.
Sorry, hold on. Let me grab the link and share this with you guys. And I'll post it in the description box as well.
That will be able to express just how sad this story is that we're following out of Oklahoma. It's certainly shocking, and it's not easy to hear. I'll warn you about that. It's not easy to talk about either. This story first came to light on August 16th inside this home in Muskogee, Oklahoma, which is about an hour's drive away from Tulsa. According to KWTW, who spoke to the district attorney prosecuting this case, an 11-year-old girl gave birth to a full-term baby in this house on that day. Now, here.
So y'all are saying it's not the 11-year-old in the photo with the baby. It's the mother of the 11-year-old in the photo with the baby. Okay, thank you. I didn't understand. I appreciate that. Yeah, the parents didn't let her leave the house. It's infuriating.
Here are the mugshots of the girl's mom and stepdad. Their names.
And they look like they could be brother and damn sister.
Names are Dustin and Sherry Walker. The DA told the TV station at first these two said they were also shocked by what happened because they claimed they had no idea that this young 11-year-old girl was pregnant. The district attorney pushed back on that, saying the 11-year-old was, quote, petite. So it would be pretty obvious if a girl that small would be pregnant for a full 9 months.
So she's little. It's a fucking child. Of course you're going to know that she's pregnant. It's going to be obvious. She wasn't in school. Why? Why wasn't she in school?
Leading up to the birth of this child, they say happened on August 16th
The
of this
mom.
year. Now, we found old Facebook pages for this couple. Dustin is 34 years old. Sherry is 33. Many of the pictures show them holding young children. A neighbor to the couple told KJRH TV that 6 children in total, including that 11-year-old girl, lived in this home along with several dogs and cats. They say this was a very disturbing situation playing out in this home even before this young girl gave birth to a child. The neighbor said that this couple did not have running water in their house for the last 2, maybe 3 years. Now, at first, the Walkers were charged with 6 counts of neglect, and it appears.
How did people know there was no running water in the house for up to 3 years and CPS didn't get involved? I don't. Some of the siblings were naked, y'all are saying. There was no water, feces and urines, no blankets or sheets. What the Sam hell is going on here?
That is a charge of neglect for each child living inside this home. But then there was a major development this week on top of what was already a major story. The paternity test came back on that baby that the 11-year-old gave birth to, and the district attorney told KWTW that the results show that the girl's stepdad, Dustin Walker, is that baby's father. He now faces a charge of sexual abuse of a child under the age of 12. Sherry is also facing an additional charge of enabling sexual abuse. Now, it doesn't appear that Sherry has a criminal history. We did find 2.
So if she was charged with enabling sexual abuse, I mean, again, thinking about the fact that this is the Stephan Sterns 2.0, they've got to have proof then that she knew that the stepdad was abusing the child. Whereas I'm assuming with Jen Soto, they don't have proof that Jen necessarily knew. Yeah, Jamie said the neighbor said she called CPS 50 times, which I'm sure is an exaggerated number, but still, what? Real life horror movie. Exactly, Tanya in the D. Wait until you see the interview with the grandmother. I've got it. So, I thought most electric and water companies reported after so long if there were people living in homes without connections. You would think 6, 7, including the baby. They do in.
Has a criminal history. We did find 2 cases in Oklahoma court records involving Dustin Walker. One of them is from 2020. He was charged with firing a gun inside his home. That case appears to have ended in what appears to be a fine of some sort and record.
On or about the 18th day of May 2020, by willfully discharging a firearm at the floor inside of his home, which is a public place where people were in danger of the firearm. Wow. I need to write down that middle name because I tried to pull records and I didn't see it. So it's Joel. Dustin Joel Walker. Let me grab this case number. CM 2020-402. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know why I would expect any different inside of a house where there's no water and there's feces and urine and no sheets on the bed. I mean, hell, why would I think that they wouldn't fire a damn firearm in the house? Shit. Why not? Jesus, there's only 6, 7, whatever children running around. 6, now 7 with the baby, but the baby would not have been there at the time. Lord have mercy.
Show that the case was sent to collections when the money wasn't paid. In 2023, Dustin was also charged, this time with domestic assault and battery in the presence of a minor. But that case was dismissed, according to Oklahoma court records.
Wait a minute. I missed that. So Dustin Walker is to be held and answer upon charges of ABA by stranger. ABA presence of minor? What? Stop. CPS was called. He did something in front of a minor, and they still didn't do shit? Hold on a minute. I need to catch that charge. What is it?
Fine of some sort, and records show that the case was sent to collections when the money wasn't paid. In 2023, Dustin was also charged, this time with domestic assault and battery in the presence of a minor. But that
Oh, okay. Well, that means that he's putting his hands on his woman in front of children. But still, the baby is the evidence that the mom knew in this case. Well, they claim that some kind of a child in the neighborhood is who the baby's dad was. So they've got to have proof that the mother knew that that was going on. I think so, Dandy, but we don't know. CPS is filling all these kids.
That case was dismissed, according to Oklahoma court records that are available online. Both the Walkers are now being held on $100,000 bonds. The DA told KWTW that both parents could spend the rest of their lives in prison if they're convicted, if these allegations that are so incredibly shocking are actually true. As for that young girl who allegedly gave birth inside this home, a home that didn't even have running water, according to that neighbor, the district...
Like, how are you giving birth inside of a home with no water, feces and urine all over the place, no sheets on the bed? My God.
The attorney says that young girl is traumatized, understandably so. That girl had to give birth inside that home without any medical care. Allegedly, it was Sherry, the mom, who delivered the baby. But then EMTs were called, and that's how this situation was discovered inside this home. Not to mention that young 11-year-old girl, according to the district attorney, had not seen a doctor in more than a year. She wasn't in school either. So there was no way that people outside of this home could have known that this was happening, at least that we know about. It appears that she was kept off the radar because you think of whether she was brought to a doctor or to a school, people there could have intervened and could have helped. Instead, she was allegedly kept out of sight. Join us now to talk a little bit more.
My God. This is so devastating, and I hope that she gets the help that she needs. My God.
About this story is practice professor of law at Temple University, Marian Bracha. Great to always have you on Law and Crime. Such a difficult story we're talking about here. I know you used to work in a district attorney's office. You have prosecuted very difficult cases, but I mean, how common it is something like this? Because it's just, in some ways it is so shocking, but it's also just incredibly sad, the allegations here.
We're not going to watch all of this. I just wanted to see what the first thing she said. We have an interview with the grandmother I want to go over real quick with you guys.
Unfortunately, we have no idea how common this is because crimes like this go unreported and committed undercover, and they are committed in the darkness and in the privacy of people's homes. And so we really don't know just how prevalent a problem this is in certain communities because of the very intimate and secret nature of how this abuse is perpetrated.
As we were putting this story together, we put both Dustin and Sherry Walker's name into truthfinder.com to try to...
Okay, so we'll go ahead and stop with that one. This is grandmother claims family didn't know about 11-year-old's pregnancy in Oklahoma case. So let's see what this said. Look at there's a plant. It appears to be a broken window that they covered up with a trash bag, some kind of upside down bowl, some wood or cardboard boxes. Like, what the hell is even going on?
I went to Dustin Walker's house. The assistant district attorney said the 11-year-old lived there with him, her stepfather, and biological mother, Cherie.
Hey, Rob.
Thank you. Her next door neighbor shouted to me nobody was home, so I talked to her instead.
This is getting to me, and I've talked. I said, they're not doing nothing. They're not helping them kids, and I've called.
While I spoke with Cheryl Atkins, I noticed this lady filming across the street, but I continued on with the interview.
They have no running water for the last 2 or 3 years.
She says she is called, and they didn't do a damn thing about it. Hey, Mimi. Hey, Ava. Wow. How disgusting.
They have dogs in the house. They have cats in the house. 6 children.
When we got to the home, there was some trash in the yard, a broken window, and a bungee cord holding the door locked.
So that was their house. A broken window and a bungee cord holding the door locked. Is that a freaking pot plant? No, it can't be.
Bungee cord holding the...
Look at that. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, God bless the neighbor. I don't even know what to say.
Door locked.
The oldest is 11, and everybody else is younger.
Once Atkins and I finished our conversation, I approached the woman who's filming. Hi there! I found out her name was Michelle, and the 11-year-old's grandmother.
We didn't know this was happening. None of us.
How do you think your granddaughter got pregnant?
She keeps telling us that it was the little 12-year-old boy that I used to keep. I babysat. She keeps telling everybody that it was him. They got curious. That's all I know.
I spoke to Miss Go.
I wonder if anybody's talked to that boy. Money Tree. Thank you, Jindy. Mimi said, I believe she definitely called. They don't follow up on anything. Yes, that's a pot plant and it's legal. Oh, it could be a money tree. Yeah, I don't know. It's a money tree, I think, but interesting. Grandma's lying. In my opinion, they should all be arrested. Yeah. I wonder if anybody's talked to this alleged 12-year-old that she used to babysit.
Bogey's assistant district attorney, Janet Hudson.
It's our understanding the child had not seen a doctor in over 1 year.
They keep saying that we knew about my granddaughter's pregnancy, and we did not.
First got word of this case, what was your initial reaction? I was horror-stricken to find out that it's an 11-year-old little girl who's given birth and that she had no medical care and she had no one to be with her.
This is getting to me, and I've talked. I said, they're not doing nothing. They're not helping them kids, and I've called about the dogs, called about the children.
My goodness.
The assistant district attorney tells me a paternity test has been conducted, and she expects the results within 2 weeks. In Muskogee, I'm Isabel Flores with 2 News, Oklahoma.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay...
My God. Cara said, Granny doing the same tone as and fake crying as Rebecca Haro. Yes, she was. They have the DNA, so there's no reason to talk to the neighbor boy. No, I know. I mean, like, to make sure he wasn't abused, staying at the grandmother's house. I mean, he could have went to the like to go play with that girl or something, and anything could have happened to that. The stepdad seems like a predator. I'm hoping that none of the other children in the house were hurt, unfortunately, by these people. I wanted to show you this. Now, let me change my banner because, again, we're on Facebook right now. I don't know if it's true or not. But allegedly, it says, update. I've confirmed Sherry Walker is pregnant, is expected to give birth anytime. Note, I've updated the story of the 11-year-old that gave birth at home last week. The DNA test results are in, and prosecutors say Dustin White is the father of the 11-year-old's baby. Prosecutors have added charges against him for sexual abuse of a minor and charges against Cindy Walker for permitting sexual abuse, and new child neglect charges against both of them, covering the other children in the home that are 9, 7, 6, 4, and 2. If there is a relationship between sex abuse victim and the abuser, we never report it as a way to protect the victim's identity and minimize harm, so don't add it to comments. So I've copied and pasted it here. This is from evidently newson6.com. A Muskogee County couple previously charged with child neglect after a young child in their care gave birth at home without medical care now faces additional allegations, including sexual abuse and further neglect. Dustin Walker is now charged with sexual abuse of a minor, while Sherry Walker faces charges of enabling child abuse. Prosecutors have also added further counts of child neglect, covering both the childbirth case and the child's siblings in their care. This comes after a DNA test confirmed Dustin was the father of the child. The couple initially faced neglect charges after the 11-year-old had not seen a doctor in over a year and gave birth at home, authorities said. Assistant District Attorney Janet Hudson said the adults claimed that they were unaware of the child's pregnancy and described her as, quote, rather petite, unquote, while adding the infant was of normal size. Quote, this child is traumatized, unquote. Houston told News 6, quote, she's been through a horrific ordeal. Not only has someone gotten her pregnant, but she gave birth at home without medical assistance, and this will be her life for the rest of her life, unquote. Houston said that doctors, nurses, or teachers typically notice these cases and report them, but since the child was not in school or may have been homeschooled, the pregnancy went unnoticed. The Muskogee County District Attorney urged the public to report suspicions of abuse to law enforcement, the Department of Human Services, or the District Attorney's Office. The couple remains jailed on a $100,000 bond, and Hudson said more charges may be filed as the investigation continues. These remain charges, not convictions. I mean, it sounds like the neighbor did say something and report the abuse, and nobody did anything. Yep, Peaches, unfortunately, yeah. You know, they blame anyone other than the stepfather or papa. Yeah, they're pulling out that 12-year-old boy and blaming him. It's ridiculous. I'm sure there's no way she would not show with a normal-sized baby. Right. Muskogee, thank you. I apologize for mispronouncing it. How long ago did she have the baby? I think it was just about a week or so ago. It says last week, and this was a couple of days ago, so maybe about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And there's another photo of this sick motherfucker. The girl was hospitalized after the birth, and officials immediately removed all the children from the residence for their protection. The district attorney said further charges are possible. And their next court appearance is September 3rd. I don't know if that's the baby, but evidently from what I've heard, it was August 16th right here. Dustin and Sherry Walker were both arrested last week and initially charged with felony child neglect after the 11-year-old gave birth to a full-term baby August 16th. And the baby was healthy from what I've heard. Thank goodness that the baby's healthy and everything, but I hope the children, yeah, it's like, good God, exactly, Dandy, good God, like the child having the child. I think the mother did after she gave birth, Lane. Let me see. An Oklahoma man was arrested after his 11-year-old stepdaughter gave birth at home. It's now been charged. They initially claimed they hadn't known the girl was pregnant. She had received no prenatal care, and records show she had not been to the doctor in more than a year. Authorities added child sexual abuse charge after paternity tests showed Dustin Walker had a 99.9% match to the DNA of the child's father. Walker is accused of abusing the girl from January through August, and Sherry Walker has been charged with enabling that. They also face the original charges of felony child neglect and failing to provide medical care for the 11-year-old girl. The court documents state the children had no clothing on and were living in dog feces. All of them have been removed from the home. And the 5 children, five of the children are theirs. I guess all of the other children belong to them. That's about all I'm seeing for pictures and things. I'm going to try to pull some court documents. I think it was allegedly the mother that called which, thank God that she called and got help for the child, but I don't know. I'm assuming that maybe something went wrong or she was bleeding. I mean, that is her child. Like, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I'm glad that she did call the EMT. Like, yeah, I don't know what the thought process was. Like, what, she's just gonna give birth at home and we're gonna hide it, and then something happened or went wrong, or what? And so they call EMT. I mean, if there's dog feces and urine everywhere, God only knows. She is a child. They made a baby give birth to a baby with no medical care. That's just cruel in so many ways. I agree. I don't know, man. I really don't. It's devastating, actually. Dustin Menace has denied your request. Okay. Sorry, I was checking my email. Okay, so now, yeah, they are lucky to have survived. I'm going to look and see if I can pull the court documents after today's live stream. But that's about all we have so far that I know of. I don't think that's not them. Okay, so now what we're going to talk about is going to be really graphic. It's going to be really hard to hear. I'm going to ask you politely to not talk about the politics involved in this. But I saw some things and I really need to share with you. Like, this is, I just can't. I'm real upset about it. It's real disgusting. I can't do it. I'm pissed. I'm livid. I can't show you the videos I saw, but I can show you how to find them for yourself. I thought about putting it on my Patreon, but I still don't think that I could put it up there. So we're going to talk about what happened yesterday at the Catholic school with the shooting. We're going to start, I guess, with this right here.
All of America is mourning this tragedy, including President Trump, who has ordered all flags to be flown at half.
Okay, I don't want to talk about Trump. I want to talk about specifically. I'm just going to ask. I know they're talking about Trump and other things. It is a political case, but there's a lot of politics involved. But just please, I'm asking. I don't want to get into a fight about politics. That's all I'm asking.
Condolences, writing, quote, "My heart is shattered for the families and friends of the victims of today's senseless and depraved violent act. The shooting began during a school-wide mass marking the beginning of the school year at around 8:30 local time yesterday morning. The shooter opened fire with a rifle, shotgun, and pistol, all legally purchased weapons, according to police. 2 children ages 8 and 10 were killed. 17 others were wounded, including 14 children and 3 elderly individuals."
This was happening yesterday while we were trying to do the press conference for Emmanuel Haro. That's probably why you didn't hear about it. Mr. Speculating sent me the information and he said you should talk about this. And I wasn't going to, because I do worry about talking about these type of things, because you have to be very careful when talking about these things for several reasons. But I saw Strategic. He put information on his Patreon and I was looking through it before the live and I just couldn't believe the things that I saw. I'm real upset with the parents in the situation. I mean, it's just he blatant. Like, there was no hiding what he was planning on doing. It was blatant. Like, if anybody had opened the door to that boy's room, that girl's room, sorry, I apologize, to that person's room, They would have seen things. Y'all just wait. It's bad. It's real bad.
Also, according to police, his mother previously worked at the school. FBI Director Kash Patel is calling this a hate crime, posting, "The FBI is investigating this shooting as an act of domestic terrorism and hate crime targeting Catholics. The FBI will continue to provide updates on our ongoing investigation with the public as we are able." Now, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem says the shooter at the school was a 23-year-old man claiming to be transgender. The words "for the children" and "where is your God" and "kill Donald Trump" were written on a rifle magazine. That's according to Kristi Noem.
Now, I have pictures of that. And there's a picture on my thumbnail of the rifle magazine that says "for the children," and like just the things written on. He wrote in white on black rifle magazines. All of these things. It's insane. Like, it's real bad. It's real bad. Miss King of Any thinks that I did see about this. The mother of the person who did it worked for the school. Yes, she did. That's what I'm hearing. How did they get the firearm inside the school? Good question. Hey, Lane. I don't know. I don't know.
Also said, quote, "Our deepest prayers are with the children, parents, families, educators, and Christians everywhere. We mourn with them. We pray for healing. And we will never forget them." Died by suicide. Ashley Todd.
Lucas Tomlinson live first. Luke.
Sorry.
730% since 2018. Now, the shooter fired through the windows of the church and did not enter the building. He later died by suicide. Ashley Todd.
Lucas Tomlinson live first. Lucas, thank you. In just a few hours, Minnesota officials are expected to give an update on the shooting as we learn more about the shooter and their motive.
The coward that shot these victims took his own life in the rear of the church. That coward has been identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman. No prior criminal history. As to the weapons used to perpetrate this horrific attack, there was a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol.
So he lived by himself in an apartment. Okay. Well, that makes a little bit more sense. I didn't realize he was 23 either. That makes more sense, but okay. It's still really bad.
All three had been lawfully purchased by the shooter.
There was more than three.
At this stage, we believe that the shooter had acted alone. We're also aware of a manifesto that the shooter had timed to be released on YouTube. This manifesto appeared to show him at the scene and included some disturbing writings.
The shooting happened in Hennepin County, where Rich Stanek served as the sheriff. He joins us now. Rich, thanks for getting up and talking to us about this. I wish it was on better terms here, but you know what makes me the most sick about all of this, when you think about it, are those two kids who lost their lives. Their parents were putting them to bed for the last time the night before he was filming this horrific and disturbing manifesto about what he was going to do the next day. And that does not sit well with me. And I know it doesn't sit well with other parents. Did you ever think that something like this would happen where you served as sheriff?
You know, there really aren't words that can describe what happened yesterday here in Minneapolis. I mean, reprehensible, cowardice, and honestly, the third one I can't even say on live TV. And talking with first responders who were at the scene, they said it was horrific and ghastly. Young kids, parents, the most vulnerable parts of our society, a church service, young school-age children in school that first week celebrating together, and then you have something like this.
I didn't even realize it was their first week of school.
You talk to your colleagues in law enforcement there on the ground in Minnesota. Had any of them heard anything about this killer before? In other words, was she on anybody's radar?
You know, I mean, the investigation will tell what exactly was the true motive. You've heard the FBI say they're looking at it as a domestic act of terrorism. You've heard them say they're looking at it as a hate crime. He really didn't have much of a criminal history. May have been a graduate of the school. Still a lot of facts that need to be dug up and brought to light. But at this point, it really doesn't matter. The horrific incident happened. Children are dead. 17 others were, shot. And that's just one part of a series of tragic homicides in the city of Minneapolis in just 24 hours or less. There were 5 people killed, 4 different shootings, a mass shooting just less than 20 hours before this, 2 miles away from this elementary school out in front of a high school. And, we can do so much better as residents of Minneapolis, the public. Everybody wants to help. Some people don't know quite how to help, but just be supportive.
The age of this person is something that comes into question for me, 21, 23 years old. And I'm just wondering, can the parents be held accountable for anything that happened here? Or is the age, since this person was over the age of 18, can they not be held accountable?
I think it kind of depends. Good to see you, Captain Murderface. They have released the gender of the person, but we're just going to refer to them as they or them. Because again, I don't want to go down that road. That's why I'm going to be kind of cautious. I wanted to show you guys some of the information that I had on it. And we're just going to be real careful about all that stuff.
I think, again, the facts will come out through the intense investigation by federal, state, local law enforcement. But it appears from what the Minneapolis police chief said that the guns were purchased illegally, not through a straw buyer, not something like that. But they're going to look at all those things. The fact of the matter is this suspect, if he was age 22, 23, is a legal adult here in Minnesota, in this country. And, it's just tragic how this came to this. I'm sure they're going to find mental health issues. They're going to find, patterns of behavior that weren't quite right. The question is, who did what when they learned about it? Who did they talk to? Who did they report it to? I saw, like many of you, his manifesto posted online yesterday afternoon. You watch that, 11 minutes of it like I saw, and you'll go, something is definitely wrong here. We can do so much better.
And to that point, Rich, Melania Trump speaking out following yesterday's horrific.
Okay, I'm going to stop that one there. There's some of these videos are going to get real hard to hear. I'm going to play 2 that are hard to hear real quick, and then I'm going to go show you some of the things that I found.
Well, we just got into mass, and it was like 3 minutes after.
Now, this is one of the witnesses from the school.
It was very scary. It was like my friend got shot in the back. He's in the hospital right now.
A 5th grader.
Super scary because we've never practiced it in the church. We've only practiced it in the main school, so we really didn't know what to do. We just got into the pews and he shot through the stained glass windows. Yeah.
And did you ever see him?
My friend ran, someone helped him run out. He saw him. He was wearing all black and he had a ski mask on.
So it just shot through the windows and never came inside?
I don't think so. I mean, I was down, so I didn't really look up. I mean, he got shot through the stained glass windows, so they're probably ruined. And
But you have friends that got hit by bullets.
Yeah, my best friend did. I think he's gonna be okay. And then my friend, he was laying on top of me, making sure I was safe, and he got hit.
Oh my God!
So that was really brave of him.
And you have a neck on your neck?
Yeah, that was, I don't even know what it's from. Kind of looks like debris or something.
But that came from during this?
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Wow.
You seem pretty put together here, but it's got to be tough.
Yeah, I'm just confused kind of because I never thought it would happen, and it just happened. So, like, just kind of crazy.
Do appreciate starting the morning with us here.
That's really sad. And to hear about his friend laying on top of him so he was okay. Y'all, that's at a church while they were having mass. This one's going to be a little bit worse, and then we'll talk about the person who did it.
Pat, thank you for being with us this morning, and I'm sorry it's under these circumstances that we are meeting. I want to start with where you were yesterday morning. This is the school. You live not far from here, and you heard noises.
Right. I lived right around the corner, about a half a block away, and I heard the shots. I didn't know exactly what it was at first, but after about the 10th shot, I knew that something was wrong, and I knew it was coming from, and I knew it was bad. So I rushed up to the church and was there in about a minute.
And you know this spot well. You went to school here. Your children went to school here. Your grandchildren.
Yeah.
What did you find when you got here?
So when I got here, I saw on the east side of the church there was a magazine on the ground, so I knew that maybe some shooting was around there, but it was eerily quiet then. And then I immediately turned and ran to the front of the church, and right at that time, everyone was coming out, and it was chaotic.
And when you say everyone, children?
The children, yeah, mainly children. There were some adults, but mainly children.
Children who were very, very badly harmed.
Not all, but they were certainly emotionally harmed, but there were a few that were, and I did focus on two of them, and one other that wasn't that bad, but for sure two that were very badly hurt.
I understand there was a little boy and a girl who'd been shot in the head.
And another girl that was shot in the neck.
And what was their mental state at that point? What did they say? What did you say to them?
They were very frightened. They wanted their mom and dad, and I sat them down and just tried to keep them calm, and I was watching them close to see if there'd be any change in their status, and especially the girl with the bullet in the neck. And the one girl asked me to hold her hand. Yeah, she said, please just hold my hand.
She said, please just hold my hand.
Oh, yeah, and I did. And that was the one that had was shot in the head.
What message, with people around the country now watching this, around the world probably, watching all of this unfold, this is a community so important to you. What do you want people to know about this community and the people here?
That it's a great...
Y'all, I can't. I mean, could you imagine seeing a fucking child that's shot in the head, and then ask the child saying, please just hold my hand while they're... Jesus Christ.
Community. This church and school has been here over 100 years. It's still thriving. It's one of the premier schools in the city and state. There's a dedicated, committed group of parents. It's integral to the neighborhood, and then this is a wonderful neighborhood in South Minneapolis. And there's a spirit here, and I know they'll be grieving for a while. But this place, they'll come back. And it'll be great, but it'll take a little time. And I just feel bad for the healing process that has to take place, but it's going to come back.
It is heartaching, but it also is something communities thrive because of the people in them.
Absolutely.
And you're one of those people.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate what you did yesterday and you being with us this morning.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me.
Thank goodness for Pat Scallon. And
so they've got a lot of documents coming out about this. This talks about an investigation that they're doing after everything.
Annunciation Catholic School.
killing 2 children ages 8 and 10 and injuring at least 17 others, mostly children.
This worship service was marking the first week of school. The sheer cruelty and cowardice of firing into a church full of children is absolutely incomprehensible.
2 gunshot wounds, 2 patients with gunshot wounds to their head in front. There's also a critical patient in the rear of the church.
Police say the suspect, armed with a rifle, shotgun, and pistol, approached the side of the church at the beginning of Mass just before 8:30 a.m. Wednesday. The shooter firing dozens of rounds through the stained glass windows.
I heard something like really loud, like I thought it was fireworks in the church, and then I saw the shooting, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared.
All we hear is pow, pow, pow. And my classmates, some of my classmates thought it was confetti because they saw the glass from the stained glass windows flying. But right when I heard the shots, I knew I just needed to get down and try to keep everyone safe.
Young survivors recounting the horror. 10-year-old Weston says his friend jumped on top of him, potentially saving his life.
My friend got hit in the back, but I think now he's okay. It was right beside me. I was 2 seats away.
Hold on.
Got 3 hours to land a new.
Sorry. This is the news article, so it does ads. Hold on.
Stained glass windows. I think I got gunpowder on my neck.
Students say their teachers immediately leapt into action, sheltering them underneath pews and hiding them throughout the school. First responders on the scene within minutes, as panicked parents and loved ones did the same, desperate to reunite with the pre-K through 8th grade students. Authorities say the shooter, identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman, born Robert Westman, died by a self-inflicted gunshot wound near the rear of the church.
And we're learning the assailant had ties with the church. Police say they believe the shooter attended the school, and according to an online post from the church, the suspect's mother worked there as recently as 2021.
So, yeah, evidently his mother retired from that school.
According to investigators, the suspect recently and legally purchased the weapons used during the assault. Officers searching 3 nearby residences they say are related to the shooter.
Additional firearms are being recovered from those 3 residential locations as we speak. We are also aware of a manifesto that the shooter had timed to be released on YouTube. This manifesto appeared to show him at the scene and included some disturbing writings. That content has since been taken down.
The Minneapolis mayor calling for more action beyond thoughts and prayers.
And don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school.
Things no child should have to see or experience. The blessing through the tragedy here is that all the injured victims are expected to survive. Some have already left the hospital. The Annunciation School campus is shut down until further notice.
The urgent hunt for a motive in Minneapolis.
Okay. So we can go over here and you can see what you see. I'm going to be very careful. I cannot read what the writing says, but if you go to X and you type in Robin M. Westman, you will see videos and all kinds of things. But with do you see all these magazines and things? This is insane. I don't understand. Look, I can mute it. He's got all kinds of weird things. Israel must fall like a phoenix. We rise from the ashes. I don't know what those things say. Hold on. It's I don't want to. I'm going to mute it. Do y'all see this shit? I don't know how people didn't know. I don't understand how people did not know. One of them says for the children, y'all. It's like this says born to shit, forced to wipe. 6 million wasn't enough. I don't even know, y'all. This appears to be a picture of the actual church that he drew. There's a lot of stuff written on there. Like I'm being very careful about what I'm showing because it's a lot. It says breaking the education Catholic school homicider thought they were dying of lung cancer from vaping and other means, seemingly intended to commit self-harm in the sanctuary. This one says in Minneapolis, covering the aftermath of the homicides. Last night I spoke with residents who live in the same building where suspect Robin Westman lived. They said nothing about Westman seemed odd. So evidently he lived at Linwood Commons Apartments. Vengeance is mine and I shall repay, he said. I'm sorry, they said. I apologize. There's just so much, y'all, on this person. I saw the back part of this, and I'm not going to show you the actual thing, but you feel free to go look if you would like. But this says, I love you, like talking to his parents. I love you all. I will remember you. Pray for the victims and their families. I love you, Dad, Mom, Jack, Matthew, Teresa, Joe, Jared, Phil, and Liam. Robin Westman, 2002 to 2025. P.S. Get over yourself and make up with Mom. She loves you. You need to grow up and accept that time just keeps on effing moving. You either will stay in the past and rot, wasting your life and happiness away, or you can grow up and move on from things. We all love you. PPS, I wouldn't recommend any of you to read my journals unless you really want to, but be warned. Like, it's interesting to me that he's talking about praying for the victims and things. This is weird to me, how nobody saw anything and all that was going on. And it's freaking weird. And there's a video where he's reading they are reading a like owner's manual for a dryer. Let me see if I can find that. I don't think it says anything weird, but you can hear the voice of the person. Hold on. Okay, I'm looking for the video of that. There's several different videos. Hold on, I know where I could find it. Hold on. This is from Strategic's Patreon.
Hey y'all, today I'm going to be reading the Amana electric dryer user manual. Dryer safety. Your safety and the safety of others are very important. We have provided many important safety messages in this manual and on your appliance. Always read and obey all safety messages. This is the safety alert symbol. This symbol alerts you to potential hazards that can kill or hurt you and others. All safety messages will follow the safety alert symbol and either the word danger or warning. The word danger means you can be killed or seriously injured if you don't immediately follow instructions. Warning means you can be killed or seriously injured if you don't follow instructions. All safety messages will tell you what the potential hazard is, tell you how to reduce the chance of injury, and tell you what can happen if the instructions are not followed.
So that's what he sounded like, I guess. I don't even know. Like, I'm just appalled. I don't understand how all that was going on and nobody found anything. This one just came out since we've been live, and it says first child victims of Minneapolis homicide are identified: a boy that was 13 and a girl that was 12, fighting for life with horror injuries. And the article reads, a 13-year-old boy and a 12-year-old girl have been identified among the victims injured in Wednesday's horror mass homicide at Minneapolis School Church. Indir Gunter, 13, and Sophia Forkis, 12, survived the attack but are now fighting for their lives in the hospital after shooter Robin Westman, 23, shot them in the attack at the Annunciation Catholic School and Church. Westman committed the homicide of 2 children in the shooting, ages 8 and 10, as students gathered for a service to mark the start of the school year. Their identities have not yet been publicly released. 17 were wounded, including 14 children, aged young as 6 years old. The 3 adults injured were elderly church parishioners in their 80s. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara said, all wounded victims are expected to survive. As of Thursday morning, 9 patients were still hospitalized, with 1 child in critical condition, hospital officials said. Westman, a 23-year-old woman, turned the firearm on herself after carrying out the shooting and left behind a chilling manifesto on YouTube that may hold clues to a motive. Indir Gunter, 13, was shot in the stomach when Westman fired 3 weapons through the church's stained glass windows at the praying students inside, his family said. Our son was shot at school today inside a church praying with his classmates, his mother Danielle Gunter told CNN. Danielle thanked Minneapolis first responders who raced to her son's side, saying an officer rendered aid, hugged him, reassured him, and prayed with him before getting into the ambulance. The stricken mother said her son is recovering in the hospital, and they will now focus on helping him rebuild his life, his trust, and his confidence. We pray that everyone touched by this tragedy can find the strength to begin rebuilding too, she added.
What happened with him? Is he
We saw that.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be okay. And then my friend, he was like laying on top of me, like making sure I was safe, and he got hit. So that was really brave of him.
That's gotta be tough.
Yeah, I'm just like confused.
And I heard something like really loud, like I thought it was fireworks in the church. And then I saw the shooting, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared. And so a teacher laid me downstairs to like the preschool classroom, and so I went there, and me and my friend Cece were just praying.
And I'm sorry to those of you who have been through things like this. I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't know what to say about all of it. I'm sorry. On behalf, I mean, you know, I can only speak for myself, but I'm sorry for everyone that's ever had to experience anything like that. Or, you know, it's hit close to home. I couldn't imagine. I just can't. And it's so much worse because, my God, they were praying. They were literally inside of a church praying. I mean, it's unthinkable anywhere, a school, a church, a hospital, wherever. I mean, but it's just, I'm speechless. I don't even know. Like, I'm upset that nobody saw this. Yeah, in a house of God, exactly. Continuing reading, Sophia Forkes was 12, was identified as another surviving victim in a GoFundMe set up by her family. I'm going to grab that and share that with you guys now. And as long as I don't forget, because sometimes I do, I will post it in the description as well. Yeah, I don't want to. No, you're very correct about that, Cara. Not all people are like that. I try to be very careful using that word. But no, this is a messed up individual. I get this, why I wanted to be very careful about this. I understand that this person has been through some changes, but that doesn't mean everybody that goes through some changes is like this. These are messed up individuals, and their actions are their own. It shouldn't reflect on an entire community of people. Continuing with the article, described as a bright kid full of life, young girl. Described as a bright, kind, and full of life young girl, the family said she is now fighting for her life following the attack. We'll jump back over here. I did drop the link for her GoFundMe if anybody's wanting that. They've raised so far $311,805 of a $350,000 goal, and they've had 5,300 donations. There is a picture of her, and it reads, on August 27th, 2025, our community was shattered by a heartbreaking school homicide that injured several students, including 12-year-old Sophia Forkes, a bright, kind, and full of life young girl who is now fighting for her life. Sophia was shot during the attack and is currently in critical condition in the ICU. She has allegedly undergone emergency surgery, and her medical team is doing everything they can do to stabilize her. Her road ahead will be long, uncertain, and incredibly difficult, but she is strong and she is not alone. Adding to the heartbreak, her younger brother was also inside the school during the homicides. Though he was physically unharmed, the trauma of witnessing such a terrifying event and knowing his sister was critically injured is something no child should ever experience. Furthermore, her mother, a pediatric critical care nurse, arrived at work to help during the tragedy before knowing it was her children's school that was attacked and that her daughter was critically injured. Oh my God. It makes it work. Like, when you're a nurse, especially in the same unit where your child is, God, I could not imagine, number one. And then you know all the codes, you know everything that's going on. It's not like they could say, she's going to be okay while they're hollering codes for, like, do this right now. I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys, but like hollering code blue, for example, and then telling it's okay, they're going to be okay, they're going to be okay, while they're hollering code blue, and you know what code blue means. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. I couldn't imagine. It says her parents are by her side, holding on to hope while also trying to support their son through the emotional aftermath. The financial strain is enormous: ongoing ICU care, future surgeries, trauma counseling, lost income, travel, and the countless unknowns that lie ahead. We are raising funds to support this brave family during the hardest moment of their lives. Donations will go directly toward Sophia's critical medical care and recovery, trauma counseling for both children, family support services, and therapy, lost wages for the family. Please, if you are able, donate to help this family and hold on to hope. And if you can't give, sharing this page means more than you know. Together we can ease some of the burden that they should never have had to carry. Thank you for your compassion, support, and prayers. And here's photos of her. Oh my gosh. That's probably the day that everything happened, or right around the time that everything happened, her first day of 7th grade. And it was his first day of 4th grade. Like, I think he was in 4th grade, she was in 7th grade. It might not have been their first day of school, but it was still the beginning of school. I do too. Lolo, good to see you. I always think about the people who received devastating injuries, right? No, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be held against this is one person, not an entire community. Continuing, described as a bright, kind, and full of life young girl, the family said she is now fighting for her life following the attack. The 12-year-old was shot during the attack and is currently in critical condition in the ICU, the fundraiser read. We read all of that. There's the photos of her that we just looked at. A heartbreaking photo shared on the GoFundMe, which has raised over $192,000 at the time of writing, showed the 12-year-old smiling as she posed for her first day of 7th grade, just 2 days before the shooting. So that was 2 days before everything happened. The victims' identities are emerging as 911 audio was released, capturing the unfolding horror as first responders rushed to the scene. Emergency dispatch audio revealed the moment medical teams urged their colleagues to bring all the gauze you have to treat the victims. Minneapolis has a possible active homicider, one of the first responders said, and another said that there were 2 DOAs inside of the church, meaning that 2 would be dead on arrival. We have 2 patients with firearm wounds to their heads in the front. There's also a critical patient in the rear of the church, another responder said over the radio. Soon after the firearm began going off, Westman died by turning the firearm on themselves. And a dispatcher could be heard relaying, quote, "We have one suspect with a firearm wound to the head, has a rifle and a shotgun. She's down right now. Now police are probing the shooter's motive for attack." It's hard. This is a real short article that just talks about the person who committed the homicides. Real quick, and then I'm probably going to go for the day because I just can't. It says American scrutinizes Minneapolis homiciders' disturbing online history. 2 children were homicided and 17 others injured. Okay, what? Wait a minute. Okay, I would like to pause this. Like, can we pause? I might not be able to read this, y'all, because okay, hold on. Here we go. It's difficult to imagine a more horrific crime than the homicide of children as they pray in church. So it will be a particular challenge trying to understand the sort of person prepared to do it. Robin Westman, pictured, was the 23-year-old woman who is accused of opening fire through the stained glass windows of the Annunciation Catholic Church in Minneapolis on Wednesday during a celebration back-to-school mass packed with children. 2 children were homicided and 17 others injured when the shooter sprayed bullets as the young congregant scrambled down in the pews to escape the deadly fire. Before beginning her onslaught, Westman had reportedly used wooden planks to barricade the church's 2 side doors shut. Armed with a rifle, shotgun, and handgun, all used in the slaughter, and say police all purchased legally and recently, Westman died at the scene of a self-inflicted firearm wound. School homicides are in danger of losing their shock value in modern America, and while each is tragic in its own way, there are common themes among the perpetrators that have become grimly familiar. Okay. Mental health issues, easy access to firearms, and an obsession with emulating or surpassing previous mass homiciders. The homiciders often target the schools where they themselves were educated, suggesting a feeling of lingering hatred and desire for revenge against their alma mater. Westman's victims all attended the Anucation Catholic School, where she herself was once a pupil. Okay. And the connection with these school shooters sometimes goes further than having been a pupil at the establishment they target. Hold on. Okay. Continuing, Nancy Lanza once worked at Sandy Hook, the Connecticut elementary school where her 20-year-old son Adam, a former pupil there, shot and killed 26 people in 2012. So Westman's mother had previously been an administrative assistant at the school, whose church service she devastated on Wednesday morning. In fact, it should perhaps come as no surprise that Westman admitted she had a particular admiration for the monstrous Lanza, who had been diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome at age 13 and, according to his father, suffered from undiagnosed schizophrenia. They keep talking about similarities, and I'm just trying to be very, very careful. Okay, the similarities between the killers are many and chilling. Lanza's mother, whose relationship with her son was so degenerated that they were only communicating by email despite sharing the same house, that's weird, was the first victim that Lanza killed. Now it appears that Westman may have a particular animus against his own mother, Mary Grace, or at least the religion in which she raised her family. Mary Grace is a devout Catholic and past activist against abortion, who once wore a necklace of crucifixes to protest outside a Minneapolis Planned Parenthood clinic in March of 2025. Within hours of the shooting, FBI Director Kash Patel announced they were investigating the killings as an act of domestic terrorism and anti-Catholic hate crime. Like Lanza, who committed one of the worst mass killings in U.S. history, Westman had no previous involvement with the police, and like Lanza, this was no sudden explosion of random anger and violence, but a carefully planned and targeted strike against her former school. Hours before the shooting, Westman shared a series of homemade videos that appeared to include a deeply twisted manifesto. Police said the manifesto, posted on a now-deleted YouTube account, was timed to be released just before the attack. It included a photo of Lanza, the Sandy Hook killer's name, along with those of other mass homiciders. Was written on a gun clip or magazine laid on what appears to be a bed scattered with firearms and ammunition. Quote, I have a deep fascination with one man in particular, Adam Lanza, Westman wrote in a journal entry on May 23rd, which was shared in the YouTube video. Quote, Sandy Hook was my favorite, I think, exposure of school homicides. In the video, Westman showed the camera a handwritten note to her family, which includes 5 siblings and friends. Messages in both English and Russian, including commit the homicide of Trump, where is your God, and for the children, had been scrawled in white on the magazines. In a 20-minute video titled, y'all, I'm so messed up I can't even continue to read. Hope y'all are doing okay. Yeah, we're after this, I'm probably going to go for the day. Okay. In a 20-minute video titled, quote, "So Long and Thanks for All the Fish," the title of a sequel to The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, written by author Douglas Adams, a person believed to be Westman's flips through a handwritten journal written in both English and Cyrillic. One message translated from Russian and read, "I have had thoughts about mass homicide for a long time. I'm very conflicted with writing this journal." The journal also included a floor plan of a church, presumably Westman's eventual target, which the reader then repeatedly stabs with a knife. Westman also explained why she had chosen to attack the Annucation Catholic school where her mother worked until she retired in 2021. Quote, "I am feeling good about Annucation. It seems like a good combo of an easy attack forum and devastating tragedy, and I want to do more research," she wrote. Another page read, quote, "I have concerns about finding a large enough group. I want to avoid any parents, but pre- and post-school drop-off. Maybe I could attack at an event at the on-site church," she went on. "I think attacking a large group of kids coming in from recess is my best plan. Then from there, I can go inside and commit homicides, going for as long as I can." Westman's journal also hinted at her disturbing and confused political views, which appear to have been anti-Semitic, among other things. Okay, hold on. She wrote some disturbing things and also wrote, "I also love when kids get shot. I love to see kids get torn apart. God almighty." In another entry, she wrote, "If I carry out a racially motivated attack, it would be most likely against," wow, okay, she doesn't like Jewish people, and added Free Palestine. Westman said she wanted to carry out a final act against a target of political or some kind of significance, targets like Elon Musk, Trump, or some significant executive. Westman applied to change birth names when she was 17, according to court documents, and it was granted in 2020. Westman grew up in Richfield, a suburb about a 15-minute drive outside of Minneapolis. Her mother, Mary Grace Westman, 67, originally from Lexington, Kentucky, now lives in Naples, Florida. She joined the Annucation Catholic School as an administrative assistant in the school's business office, having been a secretary at another local Catholic school for 7 years. At the time, she had 6 children, including Robin and a grandchild. "Mary Grace is eager to get to know everyone at Annucation," announced the school magazine. "You will find that she usually has treats on her desk." Hey everybody. Oh, y'all are fine. I'm probably gonna end it for the day because it was hard reading about that person. Absolutely disturbed individual. I am going to do more research about Dustin Joel Walker and Sherry as well. Going back to the 11-year-old who gave birth at home unassisted by any medical personnel other than her mother. And we'll continue talking about that. I do have to go somewhere in the morning, but we should be able to come live again at normal time. If not, I will let you know that I've had to postpone it. So just if I make a post tomorrow, y'all, I'm just so messed up I can't even talk. I shouldn't have to postpone the live or set it back any, but if I do have to, I will make a post and let you guys know. I wish they would make asylums great again. Cara said there's no way no one else knew about this. You don't think so? Yeah. I don't even know. I don't even know. I know that was a hard one, so I'm going to go so that y'all can watch something a little bit more motivating, funny. I just don't even know what to say. That shit broke my heart when I heard about the child asking that man to just please hold her hand. Yeah, y'all need to take some mental health breaks with some silly videos. And Cara posted some in chat. I want to thank you all for being here. I want to let you know that I love y'all very much, and I appreciate y'all being here. If nobody's told you, I want you to know that you are enough, and that you are loved, and that you're very important, and you are special, and you are all the things. So don't ever think that you're not. And don't let this mean, hateful world out here get to you and make you feel like you're any less of a human being than what you are, because you are all amazing. You really are. Thank you, guys. I hope you have a good day. And thank you, mods, for dropping some comic relief in the chat. I will see y'all tomorrow. Again, if I need to postpone, I will post it. And thank you for sticking with me through that. I know it was a hard topic. All right, y'all. I'll see you tomorrow. Stay safe out there tonight. Bye.
Listen up, I gotta tell you, there is something you should